Hey guys,
Oh,
Dylan
okay.
here. How's it going? Back to the podcast grind. I'm their
Oh,
guest. They didn't want to introduce me because they
no,
forgot
well,
about it, but
we
I'm
were
Dylan.
all right. Yeah, so this is our friend Dylan. We were
I've been
gonna.
waiting for 10 seconds and you're just
We
leaving
we
me there
didn't. We
hanging.
haven't even started for 10 seconds.
I'm
We,
s-
it's not.
I've been keeping count. I'm pretty
All
good
right.
with time, but yeah,
So
introduce your podcast
so
name,
anyways,
boys.
so this is our we friend got.
Mm.
I have something happening. So you guys. So that might you guys might hear that. So yeah.
Yeah, I got some rain in my house and I'm on the
Okay.
sick. So I
So it's
get
gonna be a
rain.
rainy podcast.
It's a little bit of a rainy podcast. It's good podcast weather. It
So we
okay.
have. Oh, okay. Then you go.
Well, I was just gonna say like it was raining over at my house for a little bit, but like I swear I
Yeah.
heard some like tumbling and grumbling around in the back of my house where like you where we have stuff that can be tumbled and grumbled and it was a little
Mm.
it was yeah spooky. Yeah,
Oh, okay. Anyways,
yeah.
we got a guest, you guys. I don't
Yeah,
know
so
if
we got
you
a guest on this podcast for the first time.
for the first guest.
Yeah, it's
How does that feel, Dylan?
yeah, how does it feel to be the
Oh,
first guest on this world-renowned
on
podcast? I
and this podcast
I
will
feel
surpass Joe Rogan's podcast, so just remember
yeah.
that.
We're actually estimated to
Yeah.
hit
Okay.
1 podcast each of these in the next 3 weeks. I'll make sure to I'll make sure to keep him in my contacts as the first. This will be a historic moment as the first guest. I'm just gonna be raking in the dough like the first merch when the first
Yeah.
merch drops.
Yeah.
It'll just
So
be it'll be number one guest and it'll be my face.
But Dylan, I got a question though.
Yeah, what's
Can
the
you be our
question?
editor and can you change your name to Tony? Uh,
I can try editing. I've never done it before. I'll
no,
attempt
you
it.
don't get to be the editor anymore. Yeah, I
All right,
got
that's fine. Yeah, I'm okay.
yeah. David's the
Um,
designated editor because he downloaded the app first.
uh,
You know what?
you okay? I came prepared with a topic to talk about. All right.
Ooh, ooh,
So
you actually came prepared. What
yeah,
a
see, we didn't
loser.
do that at no, all. Not
Just
really.
start talking. Okay, not
Well,
really.
I didn't
Okay,
come prepared, but like you
that'll
caught me in a moment of thinking and theorizing. Okay.
okay,
Okay.
that's
All right.
good.
So,
That's what we
go ahead, Dylan. All right. Got to keep the wheels turning. Okay. So, I've been trying to get into The Walking Dead because when I was younger, I was a little bitch and was like, "Ew, that gross. They're monsters." But now there's like a new series that dropped.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
can't say it because like trademark, but because
No,
it's
that's
new
Dylan.
now. Uh,
That's not how that
yeah,
works, but okay.
but but now I've been watching the older series that's still going on, and like they're all coming out with new episodes, like all the
Yeah,
like
yeah.
the Fear of the Walking Dead, The Walking Dead, and the new one, The Walking Dead World Beyond. All them making new like episodes and stuff. So I wanted to get into Walking Dead so I could learn more about it because I watched the first one and that looked really and I loved it. And
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
been apparently there's and right now it's the Whisperer War. It's like these dudes dressing up as like zombies and shit, dude, and like they're like whispering and they're telling them what to do, and that's like crazy. It's crazy. And like to think about
Yeah.
it, that's the best idea out of like anything. Like you got the people who use them as like to lead uh, wagons as little horses, but also just you have your private militia. Think about that. Think how useful that is. You have you just
Exactly.
go in there, play a little dress up, and you already have overthrown governments of like several countries, you know? And that's what's
Uh-huh.
going on right now. And it's crazy. Um
That
to
is,
think about like
I
all the
I watched
implications.
yeah, I watched The Walking Dead for a while when I was younger, and I stopped watching about I don't remember the name or which season it was, but it's where so how far are you into it? Because I don't want to spoil it for you.
I the thing is that I haven't gotten I got right into it
Okay.
at season 9. Oh no, I recorded a few episodes and I put the series recording on so like it records all the shows that air, but like I only watched so far season 9, episode 6, season 9, episode 7, season 9,
Okay.
episode 9, and then
So I won't
season 10,
basically
episode 16. So
okay,
uh,
basically,
uh,
I'm to a point where they all get captured by a bad dude, and he has a baseball bat that's got
you
some
mean
barbed wire around it.
Negan?
Yeah, I know. I was just
Yeah.
saying so because trademark, obviously.
No,
Anyways,
yeah.
Oh my
uh,
bad, that's
I
true.
I got to like the Negan part, and that's where I stopped.
Yeah. My parents recently got into The Walking Dead, and
Yeah, yeah,
they've so far watched all of it. So yeah,
nice.
It's
My mom
a
definitely
solid
was
show.
really into The Walking Dead, but like Netflix is way behind on it. So
yeah,
Um, there's just like there's the Walking Dead which originally came out, and they got those like zombie designs for all like decayed and stuff, except for like the newly turned, which are more gory and shit. But like
yeah,
then they
yeah,
got the Fear of the Walking Dead, which is like a prequel, like when it just happens. And I think the Fear of the Walking Dead is a little bit spookier, you know? Because just look at like if you
yeah,
ever played the game or like looked at the game Left 4 Dead, like that it has that type of like gore and like newly turned like realism and shit, and it's real spooky,
yeah, yeah.
and it scares me. Cause
All
like
right. Here's a topic that ties into this, right? If you guys could have like one like kind of melee weapon slash like not firearm weapon to survive in a zombie apocalypse, which like weapon would you end up going with?
I'd probably go with like probably like I wouldn't go with a hatchet because I think it would cut deep into the skull and stuff too far. It would be better like to get like a just like a good like samurai sword or a light sword easy for jabbing, or that it can also be used for slashing, you know? So then it's just like a quick
Yeah.
jab and then done.
yeah.
David, what about you?
Because if you
I guess I feel like a blunt weapon might be better
Yeah.
than
See, for me, I think I would end up going with a long spear, just because you can have a tip on a spear. They can have like a bevel and like an edge on it that you can do cutting things with, but you can also have that same ability to just keep something like far away from you.
yeah.
And you're typically not gonna be in like a horde, so against like a couple zombies, it'd be pretty effective.
Yeah, the spear
yeah,
is the ultimate weapon.
Exactly.
this
Sword game
this
kind of
fear is
cringe.
no okay. The spirit. I'm gonna step in for Quinn here. When the thing when all right, you got a horde coming near you, right? And spears are good for keeping distance, but like depending on how many around you and how fast you are and how like fast you're gonna get tired out, it's gonna be hard to jab that many dudes at the rate fast enough to where they're not on your ass trying them on your bits. But if you got a sword, like you will get tired. Okay, you will, but especially but like once they start getting close to you, you still have the sword pretty easily, like close range to be able to use it than a spear because there's not a lot of wiggle room when they're so close to you, and you need a good amount of wiggle room to get like a good jab in there or to just like use it effectively at all.
See, that's fair, but you're I guess my idea of the spear is that you with that weapon, you will be planning accordingly to avoid being in a tight spot where you're trying to just keep distance from things. So you would more plan around how to get out of or like stay out of situations like that.
Well,
What that does make is like
with
being
a
able to use.
horde, if you no matter what, like if you have just a sword or just a spear, uh you're
Pretty
probably just
frick.
gonna try to escape rather than trying to stay and
And
fight.
with the
So
spear, you could do that thing. What is it? Like you could pole vault over some of them. You have more of a chance. I'm just saying, there's a little bit more chance that in escape and evasion you could get out of there, right?
Okay, first of all, I do now that I'm thinking about it, spear is better for like using your brain instead of fighting. But pole vaulting is not on the table. Not on the table
Okay,
at
okay.
all. The
Think
best
about this.
chance you got
Think
is
about
climbing up in a
Hey,
tree and just like poking dudes.
think
Okay,
about it,
but here's
okay?
my
You
think
got a
about
long
it.
stick. You got a long
You
stick.
got a long stick that's probably a little bit flexible because that's what
Yeah.
they're generally made of. If you
And what
put the
are pole
point in the
vaults?
dirt,
Pole vaults are long
flexible.
sticks that are flexible.
Yeah,
So a
but like,
spear is basically a pole vault, but with a
It's a
sharp
pole
point.
vault that you poke things with. So actually, it's a
but
better pole
okay,
vault because it'll get stuck in the ground and not slip out.
but okay, but say that you're on a road when a horde and the horde is coming to you, and it's just you're in a parking lot and you're
Then,
surrounded. You can't be pole
then you
vaulting in there. If you put the
yeah, you
pointy
can.
edge, it's not pointy, and if you
Just
pull vault
don't
with
use
the
the
flat
pointy
edge,
edge.
you got a pointy edge in your face.
You
Yeah,
don't put
but
in your.
it can't.
Have you ever
How are you? Have you ever tried to pole vault with a sword? You can't do it. But with a spear,
exactly?
Have you ever pole
yeah.
vaulted with a spear? You
Have you
can't.
not? Well, it's
Dylan,
easier
I
to
okay.
do it
I
than
haven't
a
pole vaulted with
spear
this,
or than a sword.
but I
I
have used
I
a
took
walking
track.
stick that was quite long and thin to do some jump, where I where you like how it's like. Have you ever taken a stick and like kind of pole vaulted, but obviously not really, where you just kind of like take it and put it in the ground, and you kind of jump and use it to like jump further? I've done that before, and you don't get a pokey bit near your face. You can do it.
But think about this: you're 9 feet in the air because you're pole vaulted, and you're just 9 feet in the air for whatever reason. And you got a pointy bit, and you gotta figure out how to maneuver your pressure. Because if it's a split decision like that, and you're trying to pull out with this pointy stick in your face, and you don't know how to like shift your weight correctly to not like fall off the pole of vaulting,
I
then
mean,
you're probably
okay,
gonna like
but
end up poking yourself and just
my
stabbing
my
yourself.
thing my thing is I would rather end up dying trying to pole vault and get out of a horde of zombies than just die in a horde of zombies.
Yeah.
Also, don't
With
worry
a
about me turning on my video. Tony, edit that out.
That's you, Dylan.
I'm Tony now.
Yeah,
That is me.
Dylan.
Dylan.
Man, I
I
can't believe we
hate
got Call Me Carson on this podcast though.
fucking hate you. Alright, I don't like you.
It's
Dude.
okay.
Okay,
So I
Dylan.
don't know if the
The only
viewers at home don't
reason
know
the only
what.
reason why people call me Carson is because you ask them, "Do I look like Call Me
You
Carson?"
tell
If you didn't,
to
they
call
would
No,
me.
say,
no,
"No." They
Danny,
wouldn't. No.
Danny, Danny called me
Okay,
fuck. Danny
okay,
told me that I look like Call Me Carson.
but my
Haley told
point
me that I look like Call Me Carson.
with
It's
no
not
prompt
just
at all,
me
with no
with
prompt at
no
all.
prompt. Danny came up to me. He's like,
Hmm.
"Yo, Dylan, I like you. You're a pretty cool man. But guess what? You look like Call Me Carson. That's funny. I want you to change your name on Instagram to Call Me Carson, and you're gonna do it right now." And I did it. So exactly,
Hmm.
that's what happened. hmm Fully
Maybe
unprompted. I
Okay, well
remember
here's
because
the
I
thing.
stole his shoe and was trying to sell his shoe to different people on the bus, and then I ate a sandwich. It was a good. I kind of want a sandwich right now, but it was a good
Dylan,
sandwich.
it's about sandwich time. You gotta go get your sandwich.
you gotta go get your sandwich.
But we've already started the recording. I can't do it
You
You
now.
know
said
what?
you would do it in the
You
middle
said
of.
halfway through you would go get a
That's this
sandwich.
is what you said.
Okay, don't actually go get a sandwich.
Go get
I
a
won't.
sandwich.
No.
Keep your.
All right. Viewers at home, I would like to bring up a disturbing case of domestic but not non-physical violence. Okay, Chris, Christopher, person that talking that not right now though, but like talking somewhat like the last time he called his fellow podcast mate David a whore Off camera, 4 times.
Okay.
4
Let me
times.
defend myself.
You know how hurt someone has to be
How
to
can you
count.
how
Them
can you
calling.
defend calling someone a whore?
You
Okay.
can't.
Okay. How many times did I allegedly call David a whore?
3 or 4
4
times
times.
today.
3 or 4 times
You
today.
said 4, but I'm counting 3.
I have said none today.
You called the. Oh no, that
God
is
damn,
false.
screw
You.
you.
I have. I
No, it's
have
because it's
text
12.
evidence.
No,
I
it's
have text
It's-
evidence
you know
that
what?
you
No,
called him a
Chris.
whore.
Chris is correct. If you
Today-
look at the time, it is the
today,
next day,
October,
and
shut
he
up.
has not called
Today,
me.
October. Today, October 10th, I have called David a whore 0 times exactly.
Fine.
So
You
how
get
come?
off.
Okay,
this
so
one.
Dillman, why are you accusing people of things they haven't done?
Yeah. Dylan.
First of all, I don't think of after 12 o'clock the next day. I think of it. I
well, then maybe you
with
should
the
be a
time,
whore.
from the time that I wake up and from the time that I go to sleep, I consider that one day unless the sun is out. All right, that's what
Are
I
you saying that
consider a
people in
day.
Australia just don't exist?
I'm not saying they do. I'm not saying they don't. But one guy during the Australian bushfires, guess what? He was a diverman. All he wanted to do was swim. He was just swimming along, just diving, hanging out. Guess what happened? He got picked up by a plane bucket that was picking up water to put out fires. All right. Imagine you're a diver. You're just swimming around. You go up the shore you go up to get some air, to get some sun time, and you're picked up by a giant bucket and is like, whoa.
Okay.
Why is there a
Imagine just-
bucket? This is a Minecraft. I'm not a tropical fish. Why am I
Imagine
getting
just
poured on some
swimming
fire?
around.
Chris, that could have been your brother.
That
been.
probably was my brother. Imagine just swimming around though, having a good time, and you're like, oh, there's a helicopter. And then you like, go back to swimming and snorkeling around, and suddenly you hear a crash above you, like where the water like is, getting splashed. And then you just hear like the mechanical like as it like shuts around you and just picks you up.
And the thing
Because,
is
okay,
that
he died
they
for
didn't
sure.
rescue him. He died. No, he was alive in the bucket, they think, but he got dropped into the
Yeah.
fire, and they found his body. That is the opposite. The
My
opposite of
theory-
dying peacefully.
My theory of what happened is, so that bucket is clearly designed to basically grab some water and keep that water in there. So there probably wasn't a lot of air inside of there. I think he suffocated before he even got to the place where he was dropped. But if he was still even like partially alive when they dropped him, he just got dropped onto fire.
Yeah.
It's not a good
It's not.
deal at all.
It's not a good deal. He either died from the fall or he died from the burn.
He either died from suffocating, died from the fall, or died from the burn. Those are all
Which are all
bad.
three
Yeah.
very traumatic ways to
Yeah.
die.
Traumatic, Dylan. I wouldn't use traumatic because he still died. Trauma is something that like you generally live from.
All right.
Well, for the
Very awful.
Spooky. Spooky, Chris.
Oh,
Is
yeah.
spooky good enough for you?
Hey, it is spooky
Spooky.
season. This podcast is gonna get released probably in like about a week, and on this Friday. Today is being released.
We gotta talk about spooky things then.
Yeah, so spooky things. I actually had some spooky would you rather questions ready.
Really? All right, do it.
Yeah,
Roll them.
They're dumb. They're very
Combine 'em.
dumb. But I got them. All right.
Did I
Would
ask
you rather?
for a description?
All right. Would you rather walk through a graveyard at midnight or spend a night in a spooky old abandoned house?
Can I bring people with me in the house?
No, it's just you.
How long in the house?
The whole night it seems.
So cemetery or house? How big is the cemetery, Chris?
Hypothetically, it's big enough that you will be continuously walking through it for. It just says at midnight, so I'm assuming probably like, just a good while of the nighttime.
I think I do. I think I do. Wait, is it one of those graveyards with like stone walls around them? Because if it's a
It's one
stone
of those
wall,
graveyard stone walls.
all right, then I just go into one corner and like just hunker down there.
No. You gotta walk through it. You gotta walk through it.
Gotta
It's
walk
midnight.
through it.
There's some fog going around. Maybe there's a grave that's open that hasn't had a body put in it. Yeah, it's just chilling there. There's a shovel next to it. There's some fog rolling in, some spooky bat noises.
The tombstone to the grave that's open says you're next.
There's
Yeah,
like some
it's some real
spooky
spooky stuff.
Minecraft cave
It says
music.
your name on it. Exactly.
I'd take house. I'd take house.
See, I wouldn't take house because you can't run from like
Okay.
whatever's in there.
What are you can't run from a ghost, Chris. They're a ghost.
Yeah, I don't
They-
fucking care. If I'm in a graveyard, I can like at least run around.
Run around from fog. You can't run from fog. Where you remember what the beach was like when we went to David's house? You can't run from that. It surrounds you and
Okay, but you
it
can't.
encapsulates
in a
you like
haunted
that dude with the bucket.
I would say
No, not bucket, dude.
okay. I would say graveyard because I could just put on a Hawaiian shirt and just start laughing at those graves.
Whoa.
I would just, you know what, in a situation like that where I had to do one or the other, and I had to be in a situation where like I was gonna be really spooked, I think I would try to do that tactic where I just like laugh at whatever's trying to mess with me.
Yeah.
Not in a way where it's like, like, oh, I'm not scared of it. I'd be scared of it, but I would just try to make it such a like, oh, this isn't real, I don't care. You're stupid. You're dead. I don't even care,
Oh,
Oh
for
yeah, me
sure.
and David were
Like
just talking. Dead
Yeah.
people don't matter. Frick Timmy, he died.
Okay. Yeah, Dylan, on our last podcast, we talked about wearing Hawaiian shirts and laughing at graves.
oh, you did a reference
Yeah.
and I didn't even
Yeah,
know.
Yeah, the
I'm
OGs
sort of sad that Chris didn't know about that right away. So now it just seems like I'm just laughing at graves.
It does seem like that.
David got a problem.
Yeah.
From the time
I only
period
got
before we talked
Huh.
from the time period before we talked about the context and but after people just thought you were a dick to like laughing at
Yeah.
dead people in Hawaiian shirts,
Now, if they
like
didn't watch
you
the
even
last
go
David just
podcast
got a
episode,
you're not able to wear a Hawaiian shirt. What kind of nerd are you? Do you not spend your
if
free
y'all are
time
being
in a
cringe,
Hawaiian gift shop?
if y'all are being cringe and not going and watching our old videos, what are you doing, man? Like go back and watch those.
You don't
You
post.
stupid.
You haven't posted the last one yet. I would have.
well, we haven't
Yeah.
watched. We haven't. Yeah, we haven't. Yeah, we recorded it today, but we haven't posted it
You
yet.
didn't post it.
Shh, don't tell them that. We do them every Saturday.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Saturday.
Okay, we
Every-
do it. We record every week.
Did you know? Did you
Yeah.
ever like figure out? You know what the math is for like, how many videos are uploaded in 1 year to YouTube? Like all the time from each video. It's upwards of like
Yeah.
1,000 years for
Yeah.
one person to individually go through every single video every second and just do it once. It takes that person about like 100 or even like at least 100. I forget the actual number, but like just in a week or like it just
Okay, but yeah.
or like a day or
Thinking
a
about
week. It takes about 100 years to get through every video that's
But, like,
posted in one day.
Thinking about a full year of content is insane. Like a full year of just video playing.
Well, that doesn't
Like-
even account for like all the music and like other
Exactly.
stuff that goes on there.
Exactly.
Like you get
It's
shit
really
like
wacky.
art, you get
300
shit like yours gets the stuff up there. Unlimited minutes.
Okay, 300 hours of video is uploaded to YouTube every minute. So I guess
That is insane.
That's just crazy to me. Like, yeah, like, do you know how? So there's this thing about like Markiplier and stuff, and he did this like funny laughy reaction video, and so this he did like a react like try not to laugh. So this one video, and this other guy who talked about the video was copyright strike because the video was offensive,
the
and then
most
Markiplier.
critical and Markiplier thing.
Yeah, yeah, and then Markiplier did like, okay, fair is fair. Why do I not get a copyright strike? Well, it's interesting that those two people got a copyright strike, but the video that they deemed offensive didn't get one.
It's kind of
Which,
weird too, because so
Yeah.
Voice Critical was all like, "Oh, I got a copyright strike. What the heck, YouTube?" And then YouTube was like, "You know what? You're right. We're gonna get rid of the copyright strike." And then uh, Markiplier was all like, "Oh, well, why didn't I get a copyright strike?" And then YouTube was all like, "You know what? You're right. We should give you a copyright strike too." And so it's
yeah,
like they were gonna get rid of it, but then they didn't.
it's so juvenile. It was so juvenile because like it, it's like, you want one now? Fine, I'll give you a copyright strike here, jerk. Trying
Yeah.
to call out my mistakes. Yeah. It's just really
YouTube is
dumb.
just the main thing that people seem to complain about most is their how the automatic demonetization things where they just go in and they're just like how a computer might just look at a video and go, nah, you're not getting money.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's not.
Like there
And
should be
the
yeah.
some real person verification for that.
well,
Well, there is
I think
human
there should be like continue.
there is like human verification and stuff, but sometimes they just can't really do it to every video.
Yeah, and I mean I understand it. It's just like I don't know. It's not a system that I know the answer to how to fix. I can just point out that it's wrong, and I mean that's
Yeah.
not something that you should do if you don't have
Well, they're definitely
a way
going
to
at it in
know.
the wrong way.
I
Yeah.
I think it's just inconsistency of how the whole operation runs when it comes to copyright strikes or just the way that they just handle it publicly. It's just really dumb because there's a lot of inconsistencies and just like where they come up short, and if they're like more understanding, like, okay, why did I get a copyright strike? This is not okay. And then the other dude
Yeah,
and then Markiplier was like, okay, why didn't I get one? It was like, this was our fault. We are fixing it now. We apologize instead of just doubling down and trying to be a jerk. Like, and
it
at the end
shows.
of the day, you can kind of do whatever they want because millions of people are on YouTube and making a living from it. So like, they're kind of like the same situation like Apple with Fortnite. It doesn't really
Or like Google.
It
matter to them.
it it shows that there's just like not enough communication going on between not only YouTube and the YouTubers, but also YouTube and YouTube.
Yeah. And then there's the viewers themselves. Like if they see offensive content, then they need to report it and not just let it sit there and let it stew or
Exactly.
what stuff. Like they as a group of people need to get awareness about like, hey, this is really offensive. There's no excuse for it whatsoever. Please
Yeah,
stop it right now instead of just let it sit and stew there and then let YouTube go and ruin some other dude's content for no reason.
yeah,
Yeah.
Like a lot, some of the
YouTube's
like
out. YouTube like decision making for what can be like allowed and what can't is also really strange. Because I mean, for example, there's a bunch of videos of like just some really, like gory or weird things on YouTube. But like if you have like a spicy political take, they can just remove that.
yeah,
yeah,
that's really not okay. And then there's like little specifications that like when some people like John Tron, for example, he tried to do he tried to do like a spoof of a song for like background noise and stuff in his video,
Yeah.
and tried to uh he tried to like edit it to where it wasn't really enough to get copyrighted, but I guess it wasn't enough, so all his money I think was given to R. Kelly because it was like an R. Kelly song spoof or something like that. I might be butchering the information, but it just for like certain creators that just get crucified um from like different just from from YouTube, big brain YouTube, instead of them going after more offensive creators is just
Yeah.
kind of ridiculous.
Yeah. So yeah. Um yeah, YouTube's wacky, but you know what? I've heard a lot of people say like, the way that YouTube is going, we should start a new website and all this, and it's like no one's gonna, convert to that. YouTube is already so big and there's so much content on it already. If like all YouTubers stopped putting out new videos, people could probably still for a pretty long time just be happy with content.
Yeah.
Just
For
because there's
sure.
just
There's so much backlog. Like you can't watch. Like if you have
like you
10
said,
subscriptions, it's hard to. It's like you would have to waste a full day of watching every upload
exactly.
that they would upload on a day,
Yeah,
depending on the creators. But
exactly. So
did you ever watch any of those like weird skit channels? Like there was one, I think it was called Pigman, and these like people up in like the north, they were in like the northwest or somewhere because it was like they had the same kind of forest in the background, but there's like this horror channel where this pigman creature went and hunted down these people's friends, and they had to hunt pigman. It was really weird. That was like the
no,
first stuff like I started watching. I was yeah, pigman. I was like this dude in like a little pig like Halloween mask, and
you want
and
to
he
know the
like went and chased around people. It was crazy.
you want to know the first kind of content that I ended up watching?
Jacksepticeye.
Uh, no, man, that might have been first actually. Maybe it was Jacksepticeye first, but maybe after that, like the first content that I was watching after that was Vines, because I heard Skylar, like the I think he's a junior now. Skylar was just like saying, he said something about Vines, and I was like, what's that? And he was just like, just look it up on YouTube and watch like a compilation. I was like, okay. So I started watching those, and I used to watch them on either my laptop or my dad's phone, but then I would erase the search history because I thought that like the bad words in them made it not okay. So I wouldn't tell him that I was watching Vines.
Um,
Because like
that
you'd
I
come
think
across a spicy one maybe once.
yeah, one of the stuff that like I grew up watching was like this family channel called Manchurian Tale, and they were just siblings that grew up and made like Gmod content. I think they had like
Yeah,
a few
yeah.
Minecraft series here and there, but it was mainly just like skitted. They had a lot of like skits on Gmod and like horror maps and stuff like that, and that was pretty fun to watch.
Yeah, yeah. David, what kind of content did you watch when you were younger?
When I was
Yeah,
younger,
that's interesting.
just gaming content.
I never
What
got
kind of
into gaming.
gaming?
I never like
Like Markiplier and stuff.
Uh,
Type of
I
thing.
used to watch a lot of Jacksepticeye, but recently I haven't as much at all. I still watch
Yeah,
PewDiePie.
same.
I think
Also, PewDiePie, if you're listening, we're coming for you. We're gonna beat you in subs in about 6 hours.
6 hours.
the number one podcast channel.
Yeah.
We're just gonna be the number one channel pretty soon, honestly.
I'm pretty
uh,
sure we've made that joke each podcast now.
Multiple times each
yeah,
podcast.
Let's keep going
that's the
with
name
it.
of the podcast.
It's
It's
called
just we're coming for you, PewDiePie.
We're Coming.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's gonna be the name of this episode. Oh wait, what were we gonna
we're
name the
coming
last
for
one?
you, PewDiePie.
We don't talk about that, Chris.
No, well, it happened a week ago, but I'm just saying. Wait, no, it's already uploaded. What am I talking about?
Um, Hawaiian wearing
Tony,
shirt dads
Tony,
make fun
Tony
of
will
the
cut
dead.
that out.
Tony, you know what we're talking about.
Yeah, Tony
Well,
knows.
all right. Well, I think when it comes to me, when I was a younger child of the age of below the age I am now, I think I went a whole different route when it came to YouTube and like the gaming videos I watched because I didn't grow up watching like Jacksepticeye or Markiplier. I grew up watching like Minecraft channels like Jerome ASF, Beijing Canadian, and like all of them and stuff, and like and then it sprouted off on like because they made there was a group of friends and like they made this group called the Pack. I don't know why, but they did, and then they all kind of split off, and like one of them went and made like Ark Survival Evolved content. This other Indian dude, I think he just got really good at Minecraft and got real sweaty, and then apparently is really good at Minecraft now, and then others just made the same type of like uh pattern content. Like Jerome
Yeah.
ASF, for example, he had like this group of friends that he played Minecraft with, and then and then made it like a smaller group name, and then for whatever reason they left and then made a new one, and I think it's just gonna be another cycle. Even like he used to make Grand Theft Auto content, but then he deleted it for whatever reason.
Oh wow.
Yeah. But he's like a strictly PG-13 channel now. And it's really funny when he talks to like for people that curse. It's an
Yeah,
interesting interaction when PG channels meet mixed channels.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's always funny.
Uh
But yeah, no, I watched a lot of like vines and compilation videos, and like I used to watch like the try not to laugh ones, um, and I think I watched a little bit. Yeah, I think I told you about this. I watched Logan Paul for a little while when I was from like 6th grade to like beginning of 7th.
we all have we all have gone down that
We all
YouTube
have
rabbit hole of
pasts.
looking at
I
this dumb challenges of Logan and Jake Paul.
I haven't gone down that rabbit hole yet.
Oh, well,
You
look who's
haven't
the
yet.
asshole now. I'm starting to see why Chris called you a whore, David.
Yeah,
Fuck
David.
you.
Maybe you are a whore. I mean, well, I never
Right.
said that.
Well, now that we've made a full circle, we should probably end the
Yeah,
podcast.
this is the special edition, so it got to be longer, but
It's
yeah,
special edition.
Oh,
Guests
that's right.
are
about
guests
time
get
to
to be longer.
baby up.
All right.
Okay, so thank you guys for watching. If you made it this far, that's epic. Please like, subscribe, all that great stuff, and we'll see you in the next video.
Yeah, see you next video, except this time.
Yeah,
They'll
Dylan's not gonna be here next
Yeah,
video.
I'm probably not gonna be here next
No.
video.
All right. Bye.
Alright.